Tell me, though, what's his technique? That last strike, it seems invincible.
Hello and welcome to Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist podcast. I am Connor.
I'm Rebecca.
I'm Carl.
I'm Omar.
So everyone followed suit and didn't use their last name. That's interesting. If I walked off a cliff, would you all just follow me?
No,
or...
but I find it confusing because my surname's changed since I've started doing the podcast, so I find the surname thing a little bit awkward.
Right.
That's fine.
So we're here today to
We
talk...
can all use fake names like half the podcasts out there. Like I'm Kung Fu Carl.
I mean, but that's not a fake name. That's what we call you.
Still cool.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, I gotta come up with like a...
Can't read Cantonese, Connor?
I was gonna say I'm Capoeira Connor, but I mean...
There you
go. So we're here to talk about Heroes for Hire 2. Discussion thread from all the way back in September 9th, and we will read the feedback. We haven't forgotten. Obviously, first there's a bit of news to talk about. People won't stop messaging me about it. Thanks.
Mostly us, but yeah.
No, I meant like other people. I mean, obviously, we all message each other because we have to. It's because we all need to keep each other updated. So, because it'd be awkward if one of us just showed up on the podcast and everyone starts talking about this and the other one's like, wait, what happened? But
what issue of Moon Knight did that happen in?
Well, I could probably answer that for you.
So
this is just a touch on the whole Moon Knight thing to show how popular he is.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use an example of Savage Swords of Conan, the omnibus.
Okay.
They have almost sold out within like 6 weeks every time they drop, and the prices have gone through the roof. Yes, it's already a $125 hardcover, but like issue volume 1 of the omnibus for Savage Sword, this is the reprints of the black and white magazine stuff that had nudity, gore, all kinds of stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
Volume 1 is going for up to $600.
Wow.
To the point where I don't own it because I just can't justify spending. I couldn't justify spending $300 when it was that price. Never mind what it's hit now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Still no reprint in sight. I think Volume 6 is due out soon. Moon Knight Omnibus Volume 1, which you can still find online for sale at retail or slightly below, is already going into a second print.
Yeah, they're reprinting a bunch of Moon Knight stuff for the spring, which will be around when the show drops.
Yeah.
So it was just quite interesting because I think it's the first time they've directly done it with one of the. I mean, they're reprinting Hawkeye Omnibus around when the Hawkeye show comes out, but this is like literally all they're imprinting so many Moon Knight things like between February and April next year. I was just some of them have started to show up on like Amazon and stuff, so I was just looking at them all and going, because they all come out around my birthday, so it's kind of funny because I'm like, I
Cool.
have a feeling I know what I'm going to be getting.
So
That's
like,
so cool.
for all the Moon Knight things. So it's cool, but it's a shame that they don't, like, because we all know that things like Immortal Iron Fist, like, I'd love the omnibus. But they should just reprint it, but they don't very often.
yeah.
So
Well, it's coming back. It's coming back more complete, actually.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I know.
we'll talk about that in a sec because I gotta talk about this Conan thing. If you're considering spending $600 on that, just spend $30 and get all the complete stories by Robert E. Howard because they're better. Okay, they're way better. So save yourself.
They don't have porny pics.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
there's no
like
nipples.
they turn like this awesomely described monster into like a giant toad. I'll never forget that. And I was like, this sucks. This is a shitty adaptation. So
Who's the artist on that one?
It's the black and white, the famous black and white guy. I can't remember which one, but it's the Roy Thomas stuff.
Oh yeah, it's the Roy Thomas one. It's the artist on that one again.
But anyway, yeah. So actually, before we get into the Iron Fist news, there is the Immortal Iron Fist omnibus is certainly a reprint because it's containing the whole run now instead of just the Ed Brubaker stuff. And
the whole run, one shots, all kinds of goodies.
Yeah, it also has the Immortal Weapons trade in it as well.
How
I think.
Expensive? How much is it?
It's probably going to be $125.
Yeah, likely 125. And I think they're going to retitle that one from the Immortal Iron Fist to the Immortal Iron Fist and the Immortal Weapons, because that's what.
It means you know what you're buying, and
yes,
when there's two, it means you've got a leg to stand on. I just typed Immortal Iron first.
It'll be a pretty big omnibus because that's about.
Yeah, it's going to be huge.
Like,
I mean, I find them very hard to read, but they do look nice on the shelf. So.
Yeah, and it's nice to see an Iron Fist omnibus. I mean, we don't have.
Well, I mean, people. I mean, you look at the crazy prices it goes for on eBay. It's definitely in demand. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and has been ever since it was printed. So it's I'm not surprised. It's just.
Yeah, it's good that this is getting done again. I have the original omnibus, and then the rest I have in hardcover. I would really like a proper Ed Brisson collection if Marvel's listening.
I'd like a nice Ed Brisson. Yeah,
because I don't want to pick up all those
hardcover.
Individual skinny trades,
Yeah.
Right. But yes,
it's not even complete. I mean,
the
last three issues, you can only find them in Doctor Strange Damnation.
God, wow.
Yeah, it's bad,
So we won't go on Damnation again, but
no, we won't.
Yeah, so that omnibus is coming out, so that'll be if I might get it, maybe. I mean, I'll probably try and get it. Because it'll just be convenient, and then I can unload my old omnibus and trades. But
don't unload it. But if you are going to unload that omnibus, you give it to me.
I was actually just going to
pick it up.
Give it to a friend, but I'm
a friend.
Well, I mean,
sell it for a fortune and buy the paperback to give to a friend.
God, this is so complicated. I was just going to give it to someone for free because it's an old copy. I don't need it anymore. And it wouldn't be worth anything, right? Because it's an inferior copy. But
no, it's not.
You know how crazy comic. Look at Carl and Omar.
Yeah, I was going to say. All right,
but
well,
see,
we'll be fighting over that one.
This is a bridge.
They'll fly over to Australia.
I like that one.
I'll start a bidding war, I guess. Make
do it.
Fair bit of money.
I thought it was for free. Now you're going to make money off of us.
Well, I wasn't giving it to you for free. So, so we have the news. Obviously, everyone's seen it by now. So we're getting a new series. I don't know if it's called Iron Fist No More, but it's basically right. So it is gonna feature Daniel Rand because he's on the cover or whatever, or the thing they released.
At least in issue 1.
Good point. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay, we'll talk about that more.
Yeah, let's not start speculating yet because I want to get through this brief introduction. We have a new Iron Fist who's Asian. And Asian writer, no surprise there. I mean, yeah, so, I mean, we can speculate all we want, but that's basically, that's all we know, and Pay's probably going to be in it. That's literally all we know, so I'm not sure if there's anything really to speculate, unless we want to just go into how horrible Heart of the Dragon was and open that can of worms again.
It looked pretty.
So did Heart of the Dragon. Yeah. Alright, well, I will say, not everyone. I've seen, a couple of positive reactions, but I will say most of the people I've seen on Facebook and Twitter and stuff, most of the Iron Fist fans I've seen are not happy. which is understandable because, mostly because of the way Heart of the Dragon handled things. I don't think any of us are, if they, we mentioned this in Heart of the Dragon, episode 6, like if they did the handing off well or Danny's last thing well, but unfortunately they didn't. So I guess, if there's any speculation you guys want to do, even though I just said there's pretty much nothing, I knew you guys will come up with something. Go nuts now, and then we'll move on to our thoughts.
Speculation?
I don't know, like Carl's like, oh, did you hear Moon Knight is going to be the new Iron Fist or something? I heard it off my friend.
He just took Iron Fist powers for a while, so...
Yeah.
That's just it.
Well, apparently She-Hulk did, and a few other people did, and the Avengers for a while there. Or handing it back and forth to one another.
Yeah.
Oh, Wolverine, the Canadian Samurai.
Oh, God, that drives me crazy.
Oh, yeah, Wolverine also got Iron Fist powers for
he
a
did.
while.
Yeah,
in New Avengers.
Yeah, for like an issue, because he got everyone's powers. It was really dumb, but yeah it happened. I don't know, like, don't you guys have speculation as to who the new Iron Fist is going to be? Is it a new character? Is it Swordmaster? Is it Shang-Chi?
More than likely. Swordmaster. If you look at what they're saying online, the bone demons that are appearing in the window, the shadow, and the hand above the garbage can, and his shattered sword are all below the garbage can also, is all from Swordmaster, and that's who the... is it the artist or the writer is from?
No, the writer did Shang-Chi, Infinity, and she's been writing Dr. Aphra.
Yeah, you said she was really good in the Shang-Chi.
I've heard
series?
it's good. I've not read it. Before I knew she was writing it, it was like when they did the Infinity comics, which for anyone interested, you can only read on Marvel Unlimited. So when they brought those in a couple of months ago, 2-3 months ago, there was a few that people really loved. The one about Jeff the Land Shark. Some people really loved the Captain America one. Some people really hated the Captain America one. And the Shang-Chi one, people universally were like, that's one of the good ones. So, I mean, I didn't even ask in which way, like whether it was from the art or the writing, but that's literally my knowledge. So, I think I've definitely read some of the stuff she's written, but probably for DC, but I don't know what. So
I already know everyone's thoughts here, but for the sake of listeners, because I know people want to hear our opinion, I'll get everyone's thoughts on this whole thing of Danny not being Iron Fist and stuff. So Carl, why don't you go first?
Well, it's a 5-issue miniseries, and I'm really hoping in issue 5 Danny comes back and kills the new guy and takes his power, Steel Serpent style.
All right.
Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Again, someone brought it up online. If we can have a Canadian samurai and pretty much every, like, Batman's a ninja, all this other crap, does it really matter what it's doing? Now, if this was handled differently, I would have a completely different reaction. Again, Heart of the Dragon was just a kick in the privates to all Iron Fist fans. 47 and a half years and means nothing. Yeah. However, like other people have brought up, other people have left their mantle for years to come back to it later. And I personally would love to see... This might start some stuff. Remember the television show Kung Fu with David Carradine? Where David Carradine, white guy, playing an Asian, it's even worse, wandered the countryside and just helped out.
Yeah,
I would love to see a Danny Rand version of that for a while he does not have the mantle.
Yeah, just being a traditional martial
where
hero.
He lives his life to the fullest, as he put.
I mean, there's a term for that. I just can't remember. I don't know how to pronounce it, and I want to get in trouble.
Well, you're Australian. Wouldn't it be like wanderlust or something like that? What's it called?
No, it's
Walkabout?
Well, no, that's a Aboriginal thing. Right?
No, it means martial hero. It's Wuxia. I don't know how to pronounce it, but that's
it's Wuxia, right?
Wuxia. Yeah.
Wuxia. Okay.
You
I'm
know.
going to be terrible with every other pronunciation. That one I know because I did a D&D game.
Hey, I'm already
Put it
impressed
to
you're
good use.
pronouncing Shang-Chi's name correctly, because after, 40 years of saying Shang, I don't think I can switch over.
I have to do it very carefully, and it's only because of the film that I've kind of been able to switch, because I need to hear it enough times that I can.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel bad for that, but like I don't know what to say,
Well, comics don't come with pronunciations.
No, they don't, and we do
Yeah,
our
they
best.
don't.
And
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's
You have anything else to add, Carl, or is that your 2 cents?
That's all I got.
All right.
Are my collectibles going to be worth more or less now?
you don't get them for value. You get them because you love them.
It's true. I don't care if they're worth nothing. It's because I love the character. It has nothing to do. Trust me, I do not collect comics for financial reasons. It's got nothing to do with that. If they do go up in price, that's a nice little bonus.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I think I've sold a whopping 12 comics in my life off of purchasing them. They're in my collection forever.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's
Any, mini, money, mo. Rebecca, you can go next.
Well, I can already tell you that I'll be the most positive of any of us about it.
Yeah.
And I also
You always are.
Marty the Dragon did it, and I think if you're going to have a replacement, we had Hay right there.
Mm-hmm.
And, Danny set up to be a mentor, even if he gave up the Iron Fist. I think there was an expectation from all of us that was going to happen. That said, there's enough in the solicit that sounds like this. He hasn't got it the same way. There's something a bit weird about how he got it. If I my hope for it is that Pei and Danny are still in it. Danny gets to live some of his life to the fullest, but also gets to have a connection and potentially come on as a mentor to either, whether to whoever. I don't know. I mean, we're 4 months out from it, so I just don't want to spend the next 4 months angry, and so I'm giving it a little bit of hope. I'm not excited for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not. I just don't want to put that much on my life. So I've got. I mean, and I think like Connor said, the first issue comes out, or Carl said earlier, the first issue comes out. That will be a signposty kind of thing. But you know what first issues are. It'll probably be the second issue that we get some real sense of what's going on. And now I just want to aggravate people by saying Danny living his life to the fullest is clearly going to find Misty and get married and have children, and that'll be lovely. No, I'm just kidding. But
I'd have no problem with that.
I wouldn't mind him at least having dinner with Misty, and I wouldn't mind him hanging out with Luke a bit. And I am glad that this potentially means he's not just disappeared from the Marvel universe. However we see him, whatever we see him, and so yeah, I mean, I don't really know the creators that well. I don't know anything about it. The whole point of Immortal Iron Fist was kind of to prove that Iron Fist is a legacy title.
Yeah.
I think just the bait and switch of having Pei there, who being both Asian and female, and we already thought that was. I feel disjointed, and having if it is Swordmaster, having him already established as a character kind of derails me a bit. It's just, it's I'm not really sure what to expect. I don't want to go read Swordmaster to find out if I like him or not, because at this point, it is what it is. That's my thoughts on it.
Omar, that would leave you. Well, and then me. I'm saving myself for last, because I don't know. So Omar,
You're
you
the
can go
best
next.
of the best.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, one guy was asking if we were getting two Iron Fist titles in February because he thought it was Iron Fist #1 and there's Iron Fist No More. So I think that Iron Fist No More is simply just a promo, just to let people know that he's no longer Iron Fist. And then there was a second promo image that showed the silhouette of the character, just so we wouldn't see who it is. And then a few hours later, they showed this guy, and he's a new Iron Fist. And we were given the chance to hear from the creators. So we've got Alisa Wong, and I heard she's an award-winning writer, and I looked through her wiki, and she did have a lot of awards, but I'm not familiar with her work, so it would be unfair for me to think that she's going to mess this up. So I think I think Iron Fist is in good hands in the sense that you've got somebody who's Asian, and if you're going to have an Asian character, so if you have her, then I think she'll do well. I'm not familiar with Michael YG though, the artist, and I think it was it Rebecca who showed us an image.
Yeah, I
in
went
the
and had
chat.
a look at some of his stuff, and that was the nicest thing I found.
Oh,
I mean, like
okay.
no, but like the other stuff was like obviously much faster, a little bit more manga style. So this one
Okay.
looked more. I picked the one that looked most like a Marvel comic.
Okay, that one looks good. So it looks promising. And the colorist Jay Ramos, he's actually Filipino, and I met him a few times. I think I even asked him for quick art of Wolverine or something back about 10 years ago. So the creative team, I have nothing against the creative team. The one that really got me emotional, probably because I said this on Twitter that I cried. I didn't even think I would cry because I have mixed emotions. I think the creative team is good. It's just that I don't like how Danny was treated in Iron Fist Heart of the Dragon, and now they're suddenly going to replace him with somebody else. I was hoping it's kind of the Marvel would do something about issue 6 of Heart of the Dragon, wherein they would, pull in a writer who would fix that mess and, give Danny back his powers. And yet now we're getting somebody who will take his place. And I still don't, I still feel like he's disrespected, and I'd like, Alisa Wong to treat him with respect, which I think she will. And I want something good done with Danny. And that's just probably what I hope for. The most the most important issue here is not that we're not characters they get they get legacied by other characters. It's normal. You see Spider-Man, you get Captain America, you get Thor, Iron Man, everybody. But the fact is, Iron Fist doesn't, Danny doesn't get enough comics out there to justify getting a new character to take on the mantle. It's just that, we're starved for Iron Fist content, and now he's getting replaced. So that's the one that bugs me the most. So nothing against the character itself. I think, if he's handled well, then he's probably going to be great. But I'm just really bummed that it's not going to be Danny in the next series. So that's it. But I love the costume. If this is a kid, he looks great in it. I just hope that in time for his 50th birthday, his 50th anniversary, that's going to be in 3 years, that Danny's going to take back the mantle, or at least, maybe even at the end of this series, there's going to be 2 of them, like there's 2 Spider-Mans, etc. So if we can have that one, then I'll be happy, man. That's it.
Cool. I guess my thoughts, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, since I finished Heart of the Dragon, this isn't surprising to me. Like I wasn't like Omar. I was very pessimistic. I'm like, oh, Iron Fist is absolutely going to get replaced by some random. So
True.
this is essentially like a continuation of that for me. Like I'm still mad about Heart of the Dragon, and by extension, this. Like everything I said in Heart of the Dragon, I guess applies to this, except you know this time I'm not familiar with the creative team. I'll wait to see what they do. I'd love to talk to them as well. But the it's like Heart of the Dragon was really bad. That was just shocking writing. Like, it was in addition to the obvious Marvel mandate of shafting Danny, like as Omar said, just the way Danny was treated at the end of that run was just really bad. And I guess the thing that irks me the most is Ed Brisson just left him in such a good place, and we've lost that.
Yeah.
And and that's not. Again, that's something that happened with Heart of the Dragon. So that's just me. It's all sort of one thing for me, so I don't really have any new feelings on this new announcement. I guess it just makes it a bit more real, and confronting me with it, I'm just like, no, go away. I don't want to think about Heart of the Dragon. So, and after Heart of the Dragon, I was like, I'm not buying more Marvel stuff. Like, that was just blatant. Wasting my money, disrespect to your fan base, and like absolutely nothing. It's a new creative team. My beef is with Marvel specifically, so I'm not sure if I'll buy this new series until I hear from other people about it, and then I might buy the trade if other people say it, treats Daddy well and is good. If not, I just won't get it. If we're covering on the show, we'll just wait and see. Carl Therese runs the Iron Fist page. He suggested sort of like, if you're unhappy, if you're unhappy, do what. If you're unhappy with the product, then just don't get it. You know what I mean? Just don't spend money on it. I'm not saying don't buy this comic, but I'm saying if you're upset about it and you want, then don't buy the comic. But for me, I'm gonna hear from people, and that'll inform my decision. And I would really like to get in touch with the writer as well, or some sort of, just like interview or something or whatever. And then, because I saw an interview with Larry Harmer, and that's when I got a good idea of, okay, Heart of the Dragon might go like this. So if I get a really good feeling from the writer, then I'll pick up the series. I don't have a good feeling from Marvel, but if I do get a good feeling from the writer, I'll pick up the series, and hopefully like an interview or something happens where I can get a feeling. So yeah, if you really want my raw emotions, go listen to our Heart of the Dragon episode 6, because that's where all of it takes place. Because I knew this exact thing would happen when that last issue hit, so I don't really have much new to say. To everyone upset, it sucks. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it does.
Just all I can say is be nice to each other, and people have been nice to each other. I haven't seen people tearing each other's heads off, which is nice. So it's not like a Superman fandom. So yeah, does that wrap us up on this one?
I think so.
Cool.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Do we want to dive into Heroes for Hire 2, then?
Let's.
Sweet.
Okay.
Sorry, you've all had to wait so long for this.
Yeah, no, apologies.
We've all had a crazy, crazy time, and just getting all together and stuff. So honestly, sorry it's been a while, but...
And that does remind me, thanks to our patrons, Ray and Derek. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you both.
Helping us
Thanks,
keep the
guys.
lights on. So yeah, Heroes for Hire issue 2. So we have 2 covers. The first cover is Iron Fist, Hercules, and White Tiger, sort of cringing from an exploding Nitro. And then the variant cover is Luke Cage. Power Man fights alone, and he's fighting those Hulk villains.
UFO.
The UFOs, yeah, UFOs. Thanks to Ray for pointing that out, and someone else as well. A bunch of UFOs fans out there. So this
is probably, one of the first few variant covers during that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
this was back in '97.
Yeah, variants weren't just for every single issue ever. Back in the day, they used to be somewhat rare. So I am just getting the page up so I can read out the credits properly. So I know the writer is John Ostrander, and the art is by Pascal Ferry. Inker is Jamie Mendoza. Colorist is Joe Rosas. Letterer John Babcock. Editor Mark Bernardo. Sorry if I butchered any names.
It's actually Jaime Mendoza.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you're here.
Spanish.
Yeah. Sweet. So, thoughts on the cover, guys?
I still don't like 90s art, but it is what it is. It's incredibly colourful and very wordy. It's very bright. Let's put it that way.
As long as Danny's there, I'm fine. I'm happy with it. So.
Yeah.
The Power Man is also, it's also 90s, cool in a 90s way.
I'm not huge on the Power Man cover, because it's not as colourful, it just doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And Luke Cage.
Yeah, and who cares
weird.
about the UFOs? And Luke Cage has lost his shirt again. That's in case you don't remember who he is. He's the one who loses his shirt all the time.
Look, I just want to apologise to our dedicated UFOs listeners for that outburst.
You mean Ray?
Because this podcast is the only game UFOs have got in town. We're it.
Pretty much.
So.
They came up in something else recently, and I was like, "Oh my god, we just talked about them on a podcast." It's very funny. I also like to say that in the little what is it, the corner, whatever they call those, I like Dane's little snarl. Black Knight snarl.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I like those little things.
It's got a bit of sass.
See, I'm opposite to Rebecca. I really like this art. It's 90s art, but it's like the latter 90s where it wasn't so everyone just had like even more muscles. They were just walking like balls of muscle.
It's not Jim Lee-esque.
Yeah. And so
he has his own style. Yeah.
Nitro's blowing stuff up. Now isn't Nitro blowing up a neighborhood what started Civil War? Like
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one.
And this story's called Blow Up. Ooh. But, not much happens in this issue, so I'm going to skim through. Feel free to stop me whenever you want.
Okay.
But the opening third of the issue is essentially that the heroes for hire, so Iron Fist, White Tiger, and Hercules are trying to take down Nitro. Hercules is not listening to Danny's battle plan. He's just there to fight. And he's just, throwing, like, oil tankers and stuff at him, causing lots of damage. And, he wins. Like, it does the trick. But, yeah, Danny's annoyed because Hercules won't listen to him, and, that's a lot of...
He's drunk.
Yeah, he's drunk as well. And Danny just doesn't know how to rein him in, which is interesting.
Yeah, he's taking on a leadership role here, and he's figuring out how difficult it is to be Captain America.
He's seeing how lucky he was to have Luke. But then Hercules is completely off the rails at this point.
Yeah.
It doesn't, it will change. But in this is like him at his most drunken, ridiculous.
Yeah. So,
but he does have that great bit where he comes out of the explosion and says, "By Zeus, I'm brilliant."
Yeah, I mean he's great. Like he solos
great.
the whole fight. Yeah. Like he's, but he's
absolutely brilliant.
He's not being.
Danny has no idea to do. White Tiger's still not really sure what to do.
Yeah, I mean, like when you look at power levels, I think Hercules is just a bit above them. Although I think he's been kicked out of Olympus at this point, so he's mortal again.
He's mortal, yeah.
But yeah, there's a point throughout this issue whereas Captain America was able to rein in Hercules or lead him effectively. Because the whole thing, it's not like they're competing for leadership because Hercules isn't really a leader character. It goes back to like Jason and the Argonauts. Yeah,
It
so
brings a lot of color to the team.
Yeah.
Yes, you need somebody like that.
Oh no, I love
bring a lot of drama.
Yeah, I love Hercules. I love how this little drama is playing out.
Yeah.
I prefer
John
leadership.
Ostrander is a really good writer.
I prefer leadership drama than love triangle in the team.
Oh, we've got some fun coming up then.
Oh no. So we cut to Luke, who is watching Aliens, which is
cool that they have that. Like, they'd never be able to now. Well, they would now because now they've got the rights to it again. But
it's a good point, actually. I didn't even think of that. But I just want to say, Alien is much better than Aliens. And,
you mean the first one?
Yeah.
Just throw that in as a random aside as well. The Gems moved. I like how the Gems progressed from showing cowboy films to Aliens. So.
Yeah, that was like the first thing I noticed was like, wait, that's not a cowboy film, and then I'm like, wait, that's the bad Alien movie. So.
Yeah, so DW is still running the movie theater.
Yeah, but he's not around. Luke's like, hey, it's not working, and then the UFOs.
That's because the gas UFO knocked him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Luke fights the UFOs, and then the gas UFO sort of. I'm trying to figure out what's happening.
Vapor, right? That's Vapor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They take him down. I'm not quite sure exactly what goes on when they take him down because the art's a bit weird, but they do take him down.
They're going to his lungs, don't she? Goes into his lungs.
Right.
She's kind of a one-trick pony.
Yeah, but particularly good to, given that it's you can go in through the mouth.
Yeah.
So it's just
yeah.
And then we cut to the new member of the team, or soon to be new member of the team, Black Knight.
Well,
soon to be introduced in Marvel's The Eternals this week.
Right.
That's right.
There's a whole lot of talk about that, Rebecca.
Well,
Dane Whitman.
Dane Whitman, yeah.
So I haven't said anything that is controversial there.
Yeah, if people want to tune into the Eternals podcast, go nuts.
Oh my god, I said it as one comment, but Dane Whitman.
I was referring to Carl, because Carl's ready to go right into it. And he's going into it now.
I'm going to go into it now. From what I've heard,
I don't want to hit spoilers.
It was just a huge disappointment, and he's actually not in the actual film.
He is in the actual film.
Well...
Stop spoiling. Not that I'm saying it, but
I don't
it sounds
want
like
to spoil
spoilers.
Please. Thanks, Carl.
You'll see him.
Stop. Just...
Wasn't he in the TV spot or something? No.
Yes,
wasn't
he was
there?
In the TV spot.
He was. Oh, yeah. See?
Look, okay.
And the trailer.
There's a more important
I don't
question.
want to hear anything that I haven't watched in the TV spot or trailer. Thank you.
There's a more important question. Why does he have a Pegasus? That's a Greek thing.
Why not?
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
Because, can I explain to you something about British mythology?
Yes,
Okay.
please do.
Like we have with everything else in life, we just steal from wherever we want.
Oh, right.
So if they I've literally no idea why he does.
It's also a black Pegasus because he's the Black Knight, I guess.
I don't know why he has a flying horse. I'm not actually particularly an expert in it, but I just want to joke about Britain imperialism and stealing things.
So, Dane Whitman, sometimes scientist, often the hero known as Black Knight. So we get a whole thing, the Lady of the Lake pops up, just in a park. So at the zoo, she brings him to Avalon, which is the mystic isle where King Arthur is buried.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Avalon's a classic place in mythology. I really like how it's drawn here.
It's done pretty well, yeah.
I really like the big tomb of King Arthur.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yes.
And the whole thing is King Arthur's supposed to come back again, but it's like, the Pendragon would arise if needed, and each age has its own Pendragon, and Dane Whitman is the Pendragon of this age. And she gives him a spiffy new armor, but it's like an elvish version of his old armor.
Yeah.
It's lighter, you know, better in every way,
More
really.
jazzy.
Yeah.
Contained within a necklace. Much better.
Yeah. And they lend him a Pegasus. So he's reluctant throughout all of this. Like, he doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, that's his kind of thing, though. He has depression and things
Right.
like that. So.
Yeah, was it because of the Avengers dying? I can't remember.
I mean, I doubt that helped, but I think he always had mental health issues that were veering that way.
Okay.
Because that's why the Ebony Blade was, that's what it feeds off when he had the Ebony Blade, which is... Anyway, it's not a Black Knight podcast either. But yes, so this is separating him from that and into this. So.
And he also had an uncle who was the Black
which
Knight
I don't
as well.
know that much about. So.
Okay, right. So yeah, your sort of basic Arthurian shtick going on, and then he wakes up in bed, and I think he does he wishes it wasn't a dream.
Yeah.
He's like, do I dare believe? Like he has a pendant of the sword of light and the shield of night. Hey, it rhymes. And then we get Iron Fist with Jim Hammond, for you guys who forgot the original Human Torch. Also,
And the cat.
And the cat.
Again.
Yeah.
The cat.
It's apparently not Neil's. So
Yes,
we got a Jim Hammond expert to verify that this is not Neil's, but that he does have a few cats in this run. So that's quite exciting, not just the ginger one.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the other cats as well.
And so, Human Torch, he kind of points out, since Hercules is mortal now, I wonder if he realizes that he can't hold booze like he used to. So he might not know that he's, drunk all the time, but, ho, my boon companions. He's, bringing the Black Knight in, and the Black Knight, he's like, what the hell, man? You're drunk on the job. You can't do this. He's like, Captain America would never allow you on a mission in this state.
Yeah, because he's a fuddy-duddy.
I mean, he's also right. I wouldn't want someone drunk on stuff. Yeah. So, Hercules has great dialogue in general. It's just very comical.
Yeah, this sounds, he sounds a bit like Thor in the MCU here.
Yeah.
Where he's the comical version.
Yeah. And so he's joined up. I think he's joined up as a scientist, though.
Yeah, he's going to
now.
help the Oracle Corporation with Jim.
Yeah. And then we cut to Wall Street, and Nitro's at it again. Because they got the call.
Fun. He's occupying Wall Street.
We get Danny giving him a nice kick in the head, and then White Tiger.
Danny's legs go very vertical.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. The White Tiger slashing him. Hercules rocks up, and yeah, it's fighting. It's a scrap. There's no
very colourful.
Yeah, and then the Black Knight decides. The Black Knight lives again. He sees the struggle, and that Jim Hammond's going on about how he's worried that Herc will get killed because he's not immortal anymore, and he's like, the team may not have sufficient firepower to take care of a menace like Nitro. And he's like, okay, well, that's when he chooses to suit up as Black Knight. He's like, if I chose to believe in Avalon.
Yeah.
He gets his gear.
Well, this answers the question about where he stole his course from. He's clearly sold him from Aragorn.
Yeah, Strider.
Strider. Oh, so, all
Strider.
British mythological, but except he's Aragorn's but with wings. Oh, maybe that explains the elven armor as well. Oh my
Yeah.
god, it's like this weird crossover now. But
And-
I actually do, of the art, I really do love Dane's expressions when he's in armor.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's so minimal, but it's so great.
Yeah, it's
like,
pretty good.
It's totally
Yeah.
exactly how you want that minimal art to be. It's still expressive.
So he flies Strider out of the window. It's like,
And
poor
that
horse.
is an amazing sound effect there.
I didn't even
'Cause they
notice
missed it.
until you.
Oh, yeah.
It's so
It does have a
beautiful
sound
stuff.
effect.
Yeah, because it's all in the same colours as the background. So props to that.
It's been a while since I've read this. That's not Excalibur he has, is it?
No.
Okay.
He had it's the sword he normally has is the ebony blade.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So
So this isn't the Ebony
it?
Blade.
I don't know if it is. I
It
mean,
says
it should
it's the
be
Sword
for
of
every-
Light.
but it says it's the sword of light. So
Sword of Light,
I'm not
okay.
100% sure.
Yeah.
But the sword that Black Knight normally has isn't Excalibur either. Although he has
Okay.
wielded Excalibur, I believe, but not normally.
Yeah.
So it's Captain Britain, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what Captain Britain uses.
Mm.
Right.
And there's also been a character called Excalibur, I believe.
So,
But
Hmm.
that's only a couple of issues.
Human Torch is looking out the window. He's like, there may be hope for this team yet. Black Knight to the rescue against the dastardly Nitro. But alas, elsewhere, Luke Cage, Power Man, he's chained up. And he's in front of the Master. I am the Master. I apologize for the rudeness of your treatment thus far, Mr. Cage. My servants were a little over-enthusiastic, but it is imperative that we talk. I need you to listen, not only for your own sake, but the sake of the entire world. Are you listening, Mr. Cage? Next, the Sword of Light and the Shield of Night, plus the secrets of the White Tiger, and the Master speaks. You can't afford to miss it.
Well, I hope I can't afford to miss it.
You know, the Master's not that intriguing. But, you know, the team dynamics are still fun. I quite like this sort of struggle that Danny's having, trying to lead Hercules. You know, I think it's interesting. White Tiger's just kind of there, but I really like, you know, the Hercules, Black Knight, Human Torch, they all have, like, a really great dynamic. They all have cool personalities.
Yes.
Like, I knew nothing about Black Knight going into this, and I like him here, you know, so it's a good little team. I like how it's so odd, like it's not a team you would think of putting together. They're all from very different, you know, you got martial arts, then you got Greek mythology, then you got a dude riding a Pegasus with Avalon. So, yeah, it's all good stuff. And I think some of the artwork was really good, especially Avalon.
Yes.
It was really nicely done.
Yes.
So yeah, I enjoyed this issue. It was a nice quick read. Like, you could sort of divide it into 3 acts, I think. But yeah, whatever everyone else thinks.
Yeah, I remember Carl, not really raving, but you know, it sounds like he was really raving about Heroes for Hire, and I hadn't read it before. And when I started with issue 1, and then now issue 2, and I am loving it.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, I wasn't expecting much, but knowing that it's John Ostrander, I thought, I think it'll be good, but I wasn't expecting it to be this good.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you know, it's not a one story and you're done in one issue.
Yeah.
And there's mystery, there's intrigue, and I don't know where the Master came from, where, you know, because he's an Alpha Flight villain. So shout out to the Alpha Flight fans, because I'm an Alpha Flight fan. They're my favorite super team.
Huh.
And I love the fact that he's here. So, and that he's a big villain, and because he's only getting most of his appearances in Alpha Flight, so it's great to see him here. And also, I think this is the only time that Danny is put in a leadership role, aside from being the leader of the Immortal Weapons.
Yeah.
So from all the other super teams that he was in, is always a supporting character. It's nice to see him as a leader.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
nice to see him learning to be a leader either. He hasn't just
Yeah.
turned up and it's perfect. And some of
That's
that's
right.
because it's such a crazy team.
Mm.
But I like him.
Yeah.
Yes, it's good.
Yeah. So
Can't
Carl,
wait
any
for issue
thoughts?
3.
It's not even gotten good yet.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
A man of few words, but words of wisdom.
If you're liking it now, you're gonna love it.
Cool. We have some feedback. So we have some feedback from Desplaining, who runs a Daredevil blog and an Iron Fist blog, and she says, I like the series, a unique, very 90s take on the Heroes for Hire that doesn't take itself too seriously. This particular issue isn't super memorable for me, but I love Danny's deadpan, Jim Hammond can take the heat pun. Yeah, I'll read out the quote here. Oracle Inc. may get stuck with the bill for damage. Jim Hammond used to be the original Human Torch, so I guess he can take the heat, but yeah. And then we have feedback. Yeah, feedback from Conchu on Twitter. Conchu says, decent, nothing really incredible, but it's a fun read with cool artwork and some good action. I wouldn't read it over and over again like I do with issues from Immortal Iron Fist, but I'm still happy to have read it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a solid run so far, So I'm curious to see where it goes. And yeah. Well, if no one has anything else to add, I think I read through the letters page. Or actually, no, I don't think there was a letters page for this issue. So, do I have it right here? Yes, I do. Let me just double check, because I have the single issues courtesy of Carl, in addition to the trades.
Yeah, there's a letter page.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a letter page, but it's not about Heroes for Hire number 1. It's in anticipation of Heroes for Hire number 1.
Yeah. There's one guy complaining about Iron Fist costume, and the response is kind of like, hey, that's funny because he's the only one we didn't change. So,
Don't worry, they're gonna.
Yeah.
They will.
Right. Yeah, I do remember seeing art from that. But, yeah, I don't remember anything else that stood out in the letters page. I'll read through it again, and if anything comes up, I'll do it next issue. But yeah, so if we're all done,
Yeah, I think we're good.
cool. Apologies to listeners. I'm very, very tired while I was recording this, so I'm not as detailed as I usually am with the coverage. But yeah, until next time, go to Avalon.
Yes.
Yeah.
You should.
All
Check
right.
it out.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice place.
Get those back issues of Swordmaster now.
All right.
They're about to shoot up in price.
They probably are anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Iron Fist and all other characters in these comics are properties of Marvel and Disney. Any music or images we use belong to their respective copyright holders. We do this for fun, so please don't sue us. You can contact us at sonsofthedragonpodcast@gmail.com. Just send us mail, comments, thoughts, anything you want really. Doesn't even have to be related to Iron Fist. If you don't want it read on the air though, make sure you mention that. You can also find us on Facebook, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast, Sons of the Dragon, our Twitter, at Iron Fist Podcast, our SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Sons of the Dragon, hyphens where the spaces are, our YouTube, Connor Carl, just search Iron Fist Podcast and you'll find us real quick. We are also on iTunes. If you find us there, give us a review and rate us. If it's less than 5 stars, please say why so we can improve the show. And we're on Podcast Garden in the literature section, and last but not least, head over to our WordPress, Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast.wordpress.com. That's where I put all the show notes. I'd like to thank Thomas Tissot for composing the Iron Fist theme song we use at the start of our Iron Fist episodes on the podcast. I'd also like to thank Peter John Sikorsky for composing the Power Man and Iron Fist theme we use at the start of our Power Man and Iron Fist episodes. And finally, thanks to you guys for listening.